and we are good to go.
All right, thank you. So we'll call the meeting to order for our Monday, May 10th, 2021 Building Committee meeting. Thank everyone for their time once again. And we'll jump right into it with our friend Sam to do his OPM report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ben, if I can share, I will post the OPM report. Thank you, sir. Great. Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody. I believe the report came out either last night or this morning for the team, for the committee, so we'll just walk through it. Ongoing meetings with the building officials. I think as we talked about it last night, last month, the discussions with the building officials are definitely shifting from during construction activities, safety, egress, all that kind of stuff, to us ultimately getting to the turnover that will happen this summer. So we've really been ramping up on slotting in when all the various inspections will start to happen, really, July and August, as we're going through all the key approvals through fire and the building officials. So we'll be meeting again this week. Commissioning continues with visits by the Stephen Turner team, 4 visits last month on the envelope, and then our 1 visit a month on the MEP fire protection. And again, those will continue as well as ramp up as we start to get into the actual commissioning activities. FF&E and technology, I think last month we talked about the purchase orders that went out for all the awarded FF&E that came out of that procurement process. Installation still on target, the first round in early July, the second round in early August. Craig or Ben, I don't know if you guys want to touch at all on the broader kind of equipment and technology work that you guys are also doing in parallel to this.
Sure. Ben and I met, and so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be approaching the technology portion like we did some of the furniture pieces. We're going to break it down, and we're going to do little RFQs and send it out to the vendors that are located on the state bid list within Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. So we'll run like a little mini RFP, and we'll see about getting prices from that way.
Thanks, Craig. Major milestones, pretty much anything that can go on in that building is going on right now. So you'll see a lot of ongoings on this list. And as we talk through the 4-week look ahead, we're approximately just under 67% complete on the work in place. And again, that's about 5% ahead of where we are as far as what we've paid out. And we'll talk about that during the budget. But as we see here, ongoing pretty much across the board. Some big steps that are coming up in May and June: the exterior greenhouse, the gym flooring. We have punch list activities that will start in June. We have commissioning ramp up that will happen in June. Auditorium seating, actually, if you've been paying attention, was originally slated for May, I believe. We have, I think it's a couple weeks that got added just based on the work that's still ongoing in the auditorium space to ensure that when we do put the seats in, there's this little activity above with all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, architectural work that happens up above. Furniture installation, again, July and August. At the request of Mr. Oakland, we did add in an update that we'll include in every month going forward, which is our MWBE participation. So right now, as of last month's invoicing and requisition, we have 25 million either in play or committed through across the hard costs and the soft cost components of the project. When we divide that over our anticipated total, we are in that plus or minus 13. We're actually a little bit closer to 14%. So what I didn't want to do is show this against committed work to date. I want to show that against the total project budget so that we can see that we're well above the 10. And obviously these are going to continue to kind of, probably not move dramatically in the coming months as we've awarded FF&E. We knew that was going to be kind of a pretty high bar to get participation in that, although it was requested. But we will continue to update this to the group as we go forward in our monthly meetings, so we're all aware of where that sits.
So Sam, if I may, is it reasonable to say that if we don't add another dime, we're fine?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the numbers are telling us, Gene. And if we can get a little bit more participation, obviously it'll only help. When you're working against that base, obviously it's hard to move that percentage. But yes, right now we're showing, even at the completed cost, even if we just stand still with our current obligations, we are at that 13%, well above the 10.
Great.
Which I think is great news for the community, for the school, and for the project.
It really is, by comparison to many other projects, that's very high, very good.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of that is attributable to how hard on the construction side they went out and did the due diligence early, got that participation early, the commitment by the AE team. We know that AI3 takes this obligation, this requirement very seriously, and they always aim to achieve that goal on projects, whether they're working in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. So the 4-week, again, I won't have us go through this piece by piece, but rather I'll go down to the pictures and then we can talk about the amount of work that's happening. In April, if you do look back at the look ahead, we had 26 subcontractors on site. I would say right now we're probably close to that amount, well into May. The site work obviously is really picking up. The field is more or less complete from an installation standpoint. Now we're going to start punch list testing, all that activity that needs to happen before the field itself can go live. The exterior of the building, as we see in these pictures, is it probably hasn't moved much visually, but continues to get buttoned up, as well as a tremendous amount of site work. From a site work standpoint, there is work happening all over the campus right now, from the fence line to the east. All of the major athletic programming elements that are in that zone are going vertical or getting put in place. Things like the shot put, the dual ring hammer, the discus cage. Obviously, the field here that you can see, really, this is one of the pictures from last week as all the turf was put in place. You also have the track, the base of the track going in, the final track. The final layer of that truck surface won't happen until July, even into August, based on the timing that they have lined up for that subcontract that comes in for that work. We have a lot of work going on now with a lot of stormwater management components, as you can see here, and as well as a lot of the parking lots really starting to take shape. It's tough to tell here, but here's the CTC. So this is that area just due north of the building that's starting to take shape as far as that major parking lot that will be online for that delivery at the end of August, beginning of September. Inside the building, again, kind of top to bottom, a lot more completion on the 3rd and 4th levels with a lot of classrooms. You can see all the major finishes are in place: flooring, millwork, painting, ceilings. What we're really starting to see as well is in the major areas, such as the media center, the cafeteria, the gym, where those spaces are really starting to take on those defining elements. We know in the media center, they're already either about to start or they've already started dropping ceiling into that entire space. That's really going to start to button up that area. The stairs are starting to take shape and be opened back up. As folks know who toured through there, some of the stairs have been completely isolated. But you get a sense of some of the spaces now: science classrooms, again, a different shot at the media center here. You can see the expanse of the millwork that we're going to have in those science classrooms. The collaboration space, that's that 2-story space that we have in the 3rd and 4th floors. You get a sense here of the collaboration areas. This is inside one of those glassed-in zones in the middle of the 3rd floor, and kind of that look up to the ceiling. The walking track really starting to take shape with soffit work. They're prepping for the floor and some of the finishes that are happening throughout that space. So it's no longer just that skeleton that we've been seeing for the past 8 months. The gym ceiling, I think the picture we saw last month, it was all taped, but not yet painted. So you can see here is really starting to kind of take on, that final look that we'll see. Looking down from the second floor down into the main entrance to the front of the building on the western elevation. The auditorium, last month we talked about the removal of all the scaffolding as most of the work up in the ceiling has been completed. So you can start to see a lot of the sound paneling, mechanical, electrical, plumbing that's up above. And again, getting that space ready so that they can start to flood in those, the auditorium seating early next month. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit just so we can see this. So our snapshot on the financial side, again, still in very good shape on our contingencies. We've moved, just a couple points on some of the drawdowns that we've had. We'll talk about some of those at the end when we look at the change order log. Construction contingency within the GMP actually went up a little bit because there was some additional movement back into that. Owner allowances, again, last month we were at 78.3, now we're at 77.1, so a minor movement in both of those numbers as we approach the turnover at the end of the summer. Overall on the budget, we did have one owner change order that was processed in the last month for a miscellaneous list of ATPs that came through. And then we also had a soft cost change with AI3, and that was mostly to accommodate the clock tower, the design, all the design work around the new clock tower, as well as some adjustments for the FF&E design and management fee that was built into AI3's contract. That was tied to the total cost of the FF&E, which with that adjustment, we did process a change to increase their overall fee on that. Overall, just sub 60% complete, or 60% build to date paid out. As you can see up here, like we mentioned, we're about 60% paid out as of last month's requisition against that 66 that we referenced earlier in the meeting about overall work in place. And then just going through here, just on the change order snapshot, if you recall last month, no changes. I think we were just about to get OC 0008 in, which it did finally process for that 139,913. And Eric can provide some detail around the elements in that if there's any questions. And then on the soft cost, again, AI3's change orders 8 and 9 for clock tower and the FF&E adjustments that then are bringing that down to just over $1.2 million remaining in that line item within the budget. So I'll stop there, Mr. Chairman, and answer any questions, comments.
Yeah, I'll open that up to the group for any questions or comments. Eric, offhand, I'll ask on that 008, remind me what that was, primarily, not to a detail.
Sure. There was 2 big bogeys in that one. The first one was the dental suite MEPFP technical revisions and the rubber flooring in corridor C103.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The overall schedule, Eric, was still trending good.
The last update we received, Mr. Oakland, we are trending as scheduled previously with substantial completion on 8/30.
And Gene, we're going through almost weekly with the team, evaluating all the kind of the moving parts of not only just the construction, but FF&E, equipment, technology, teacher, faculty training, when the folks will come into the building. So we're trying to create a roadmap to then eventually share with the district and with the collective team about all those moving parts that we need to think through to kind of get to that date.
Right.
As you know, it's easy to just say, yeah, on 8/30 we'll turn it over. But all the things that have to happen from punch lists to commissioning to training all those pieces, how they are all going to work together is all the hard work that the collective team has to figure out. And as I'm always the conservative guy in the room, you know, there's a lot of work to be done. As much progress as we've seen in the building, we are trying to make sure that everybody's thinking about all those steps that we have to take between now and then, and what those, you know, any bogeys that we might come across during that process.
Right. A lot of people may wonder, you know, you still got 30% of the job to do, but way less than 30% of the time. So
Right.
we're going to be seeing that schedule really start to crunch now.
Right. And invariably, it always happens. It's amazing.
Eric, could you mention, I know the last time I did a walkthrough, we talked about the contraction cracking that was occurring, non-structural floor cracking. Has that been repaired, or is that still a punch list item?
So it is a non-structural crack. It is currently going through the flooring vendor's option. They're providing us a mock-up. We met with the manufacturer's rep, and the flooring installer last Friday. They have a proposed grout that was approved by our PAR engineering team, which is our structural engineer. So they're going to give us a mock-up in a closet that'll allow us to take a review at it and take a look to see if it's acceptable or not.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions on that? And then Principal Gibbons, if you can, at some point, maybe this week or whatever, reach out to Eric. We talked about getting the rest of the building staff on a schedule for walkthroughs for the purpose of getting familiar with the layout now that, you know, things are kind of taking shape, and you know, it's close enough to put to memory, but we want to, you know, we've got quite a few people to familiarize with that space so that,
Yep,
you know.
absolutely. I've been waiting for the go-ahead. I'm hoping we can do this soon. And I will get a Google Doc together with Eric this week and start having teachers sign up for what time works for him and what time works for us.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll confirm that, and, you know, all the details, but thank you for that.
Oh, perfect. No, they're excited.
Any other questions with regards to the OPM report? All right. So we will move on to the topic of, you know, it's funny that, I mean, this has been going on, and I know that Nate had asked for this, and, you know, concurrently, Superintendent and Mr. Fiola had already been working on this, but if one of you could take the discussion regarding the walkthrough of the old high school. I believe you guys are working on something. You're on mute, Kathy.
Yes, Tony and I are planning it for the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend from 9 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be sending out an invitation to people, you know, a public invitation if they want to visit. We will get volunteers to be in the building, so there'll be no wandering, and making sure that everybody gets in and gets out of the building in a timely manner. We also need to let people know that the second floor is not handicapped accessible. The elevator, we have no elevator at this present time, so they'd only be able to visit on the first floor. But we will be sending out something. I was going to talk about it at school committee tomorrow night. And if it's all right with the school committee members, then we'll start to set that up and do an invite in the post and go from there. Right,
Perfect.
Tony? Have anything else, Tony? We thought that would be a good weekend. Families might be home that long weekend, and that was Tony's idea for that weekend. So we'll get it going.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion, comments, or questions on that item? Okay, having none, then that we will go to Justin and Kristen to review the clock tower design that the small weekly group has vetted out, and for the building committee to consider with a vote request following.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So actually with me tonight is James Jordan, partner at AI3, as well as Kristen.
I'm sorry,
Kendall.
James.
As well as Kristen Kendall, project architect. And this is sort of a part 2 follow-up from the previous meeting discussion for the clock tower. So we've combined some of the renderings and pulled together some additional renderings for from Pawtucket Ave, as well as options for the signage lighting. So now I'm going to actually turn it over to Kristen, and she can already share her screen. So perfect. She'll take it from here.
Thanks, Justin. Good evening, everyone. As Justin mentioned, over the past few weeks, we have worked closely with the district leadership to refine the lighting scheme for the committee's selected clock tower design. There are 3 elements that required lighting above and beyond the vertical LED strip light that was used to accent the architecture. First was the EP logo on the back face that is oriented toward the school. This logo will be a red polycarbonate panel that is face lit to glow red at night. The logo will also have a white backlit or halo lit effect lighting, similar to the large EP logos that are on the side of the building. The second is the black metal tick marks and hands for the clock. We selected a black metal to be a high contrast to the lighter fiber cement panels that match the exterior of the building. Both the tick marks and the hands will also be backlit or halo lit for legibility at night. The third and final element was the school name. These letters have the same lighting as the clock, which would be that halo lit or backlit, but the letters would be painted tawny red metal as an added pop in contrast to the clock and the background panels. The approach down Pawtucket Ave shows that the selection of the backlit or the halo lit lighting for both the clock tower and the school name allows for both to have equal visibility and with a softer lighting approach. The lighting of the letters and the clock will be in the LED strips using the same color and approach to light, which is an indirect light cast onto the fiber cement panels to create a glow, which is that sort of backlight or halo light. The back logo will be brighter since it is the only lit element on the back, so that the combination of the face lit and the backlight approach gives the logo on the backside more of a presence. And we will end with a reminder of what these 3 lighting types are and if there are any questions or comments.
Thank you, Kristen. Any questions from the committee?
If I may, I'd like to commend AI3 for listening to our suggestions, and I think they've come up with a terrific package. Thank you very much for your hard work, and I think it's going to be something that is truly going to stand out in the community for years to come. And thank you again. Well done.
Thank you.
Definitely agree. And, to the committee members, that when we discussed this past week, the different components and variations of lighting came up, and even with the EP piece being done differently as a standalone was something that I know Steve had mentioned, and I'm glad he did. So that component, I think, is a nice option to go with. Any other questions, comments?
I was going to say the same thing. I appreciate the rendering from the backside there. That was something that we didn't have in the last one. And with it facing the school being the only piece up there, I think backlighting and lighting the red of that sign really accents that piece of the tower.
Anything else? Okay, hearing none, entertain a motion on the design as presented.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All right.
I didn't catch who. I've got like the Brady Bunch screen. So that was a motion by, so second by Mr. Amoroso. Motion was made by, was that you, Superintendent?
Yes.
Okay, so motion by Superintendent Crowley, second by Mr. Amoroso. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Oh, no, that was an aye.
All right. So it's unanimous. And again, absolutely, I'll echo that, Kristen and Justin, James, the team, you guys have gone through several variations on this very important component of the project. So we appreciate you taking that time and attention to detail. Okay. Next, we will have Craig. If you can go through the invoices for services. And, by the way, Sam, in the technology component of our funding, let's have Ben Russell get Craig a proper audio system so that he doesn't sound like
I think I should be fine now.
you still have that hum going.
It's not good.
Yeah, you sound.
It looks like the fishbowl that your background is.
So it doesn't sound like that.
All right.
We'll take care of it. Don't worry.
All right. AI3 basic services, April 2021, $122,474.84. AI3 extra services, April 2021, $18,400. Gilbane Building Company, $5,922,017.99. Peregrine Group LLC, $59,000. Stephen Turner Inc., $3,515. Filch Engineering, $11,253.76. National Grid, $61,313. WB Mason, $1,435.06. And the East Providence School Department for $600. For a grand total for the month of April 2021, $6,200,009.85.
I move that
Thank
we
you, Chris.
approve the bill payment.
So a motion by Mr. Venataro to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Enos. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And I'm sorry, our folks from AI3, you are not held hostage. You're welcome to stay. But well, Justin and Kristen, you can leave. James is going to make you stay just because.
Just because
Punishment.
Because
we miss him. We haven't seen him enough. No, I'm kidding. But no, we
Sounds
won't
good.
feel slighted. All right. Thanks
All right.
again, guys. You're welcome.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Next item is consider and vote to approve the minutes of April 12th, 2021.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Fiola to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Oakland. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Our next meeting date. Looks like that'll be what, the 14th,
14th, yeah.
June 14th. Does that work for everyone?
So Kathy, is the school committee meeting on June 8th?
Our meeting should be oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it will be the 8th. So we should probably move that to the 7th if possible for the building committee. Thank you, Craig.
Welcome.
That's why he gets the
Okay.
big bucks.
All right, are we good with that? All right, so we'll go the 7th. One of the, before we adjourn, I did want to put it to the group. You know, we're doing the tours, and as we talked about, Principal Givens will work with Eric to get more staffing through. You know, we've had some outside folks come in, and I thought it was fitting, and we just throw that out there, that for the time that this building committee, each of our members have been putting into the project, you know, I spoke with Nate and superintendent, and we think it's fitting that members here, if you have, you know, significant other that obviously is 18 years or older, that you would like to bring out to the site to show them, you know, what you've been investing your time into. You know, then we can work that out with Eric. I suspect that with the tours that we will do with staffing, there'll be slots here or there that we can, you know, kind of add on a couple here or there. So just to kind of put it out there, we had been, you know, very limited, but we've been doing a great job with the control. And again, I think it's fitting to do that. You know, meetings like this and other meetings throughout the month that we put into this, you know, show those close to us, you know, what you're doing, what you're putting your time in for.
Thanks, Joel.
Any other comments or questions, concerns, thoughts? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I think we have
Everybody.
we
Can we do tomorrow night too, as quickly?
yes, water. It depends how you pack the schedule, the agenda. So we have a motion by Mr. Venatero, second by Superintendent Crowley. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, folks, we'll see you